You know what's
Oh, really?
semester?
I'm just saying.
You get a meeting with 3 hours.
You know what?
Yeah.
Go ahead. That way. Country is. Question. They're gonna make it sound good. We're at 2. Yeah. All right, I have 4:34, and at this time, we will call the meeting of the Canyon City Commission to order. And we've got a packed house today, so deputy students, welcome. With that, Commissioner Ray, would you lead us in invocation, please?
Pray with me. Father, we are grateful that we get to live in Canyon, Texas, and we ask for your protection on our community. We ask for your protection on our first responders and staff of Canyon. Father, we lift up a special prayer for these students here at WT. We ask for your protection on them as well. And Father, we ask for rain, and we ask for protection against the wind and everything that it can bring about. Father, we ask for wisdom today, and we are grateful that we can be here. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Tell you what, yeah, we are going to go on to item number 6. Come on in, young ladies. We're very honored to have the WTAMU volleyball team here with us today. Our national champs that have made a lot of us Buff alumni very proud and all too. So thank you all very much. So, go Buffs, that's right. We have a proclamation here on behalf of the entire City Commission, and I'd like to read that at this time. So, a proclamation of the City of Canyon, Texas. Whereas, on behalf of the City Commission and all the citizens of Canyon, it is with a great deal of pleasure to express to all the members of the WTAMU Lady Buffs volleyball team our sincere congratulations on your 2022 NCAA Division II National Championship. And whereas, for the first time in 25 years, the number 9 West Texas A&M Lady Buffs are crowned the NCAA Division II National Champions after defeating number 3 Concordia St. Paul in 4 sets. WT finished the 2022 season with 26-match win streak with Briley Contreras, Abby Nash, Kayla Elliott, and Tori Miller earning all tournament honors, while Miller was named the National Tournament Most Valuable Player. Whereas, WT has won its first national championship title since 1997, giving the Lady Buffs a postseason record of 58-25 during the NCAA tournament, with their 4th national title, first under Kendra Potts, the AVCA National Coach of the Year. Yes, congrats. With a 91-10 career record, with an incredible winning percentage of 91%, and the 4th head coach to lead WT to a national title, joining Kim Hudson, Jim Giacomazzi and Debbie Kendricks. And whereas, with another exciting and successful season, we are proud of the record you have earned through years of hard work and commitment and the fine publicity you have brought to our community by your inspired team play. And whereas, we are pleased to publicly commend the WTAMU Lady Buffs volleyball team, coaches, assistant coaches, and WTAMU, and to extend this token of affection and admiration with which you are regarded in this city. Now therefore, we, Gary Henders, Mayor, Cody Jones, Mayor Pro Tem, and Commissioners Kelsey Ward, Paul R. Lyons, and Randy Ray of the City of Canyon, Texas, do hereby proclaim April 2023 as WTAMU Lady Buffs Volleyball Team and 2022 NCAA Division II National Champions Month.
Woo! Step in front so we can get a picture with everyone.
Then can I get tall people in back? And then Bentley specifically, can you go to the right side so I can see City of Canyon behind you? Sorry. Thank you. Oh, wait, you're great. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Awesome.
Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, we have you right in the middle.
Nice.
Buffs up. Buffs up. 1, 2, 3.
And then real quick, sorry again, real quick, yeah, Kendra, yeah, stay just right here. Scoot onto Anson, sorry. And hit down. Here you go, ready? Okay, 1, 2. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming today.
Thanks, y'all.
All right, that takes us to the approval of the minutes of the meeting of March 20th, 2023.
Mayor, I looked over them, and if there's no changes after.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as read, as written. All in favor, signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. That takes us to item number 5, public comment, comments from interested citizens. Gretchen, looks like we've got a couple of folks that have signed in today. So, all right. And I will ask 2 things. One, that you state your name and address, and you do keep it to 3 minutes. So with that, we have Brandon Elkinoff. Okay. Brandon, that's related to item number 7.
Yes.
Why don't we just wait? We'll be there pretty quick, so. And then Rick Lopez, so, Rick, you'd like to speak?
Appreciate the opportunity. My name is Rick Lopez, 26101 South US Highway 87, Canyon. I want to speak to the fact of what went on Saturday at the park. What was allowed to happen for the 2nd year in a row. The drag show, drag queen show. I'm disappointed. I would have thought after last year's little event that somebody would have done something to put limits, boundaries, something to restrict what went on. Because here's what you need to understand. If you have not attended one, you need to see the depravity and the ugliness of it. And last year, I was there for the whole time. Last year, they made comments that they intend to take over Canyon. That's their agenda, to take over and and influence everything. So I encourage you, do something. I don't know what you can do, but you can do something besides nothing. So I urge you, for the sake of this community, for the sake of your children, grandchildren, all the kids yet not born, good grief. You know, we have enough problems in the school district with all the stuff going on. We don't need that in the city also. So I just encourage you, please do something. Don't wait on the state legislature to do something. Good grief. Have guts like Dr. Wendler did to speak up and do something, not waiting on somebody to pass a law. Surely you can do something. I don't know what it is, but surely you do. So I appreciate if you would. Thank you.
All right, that takes us to item number 7, discussion on changing the name of Fourth Avenue to University Avenue. Joe?
Thank you, sir. This came up several months ago, and Dr. Wendler and I have visited. There's been an interest to change Fourth Avenue to University Avenue. There's several modifications of that we've discussed over the last 12 months. But ultimately, their desire would be from the main line at 23rd and 4th down past the First United Bank Center. There's a couple options, and I'll go over that here in a minute, and then I think Brandon wants to speak. Ultimately, there's several things to take into consideration. Obviously, if we do permanently change the name, there will be homes and businesses affected by that change in the documentation. If the commission decides to go that direction, your city staff would, or if this commission is leaning that direction, your city staff would urge you to allow us to do a lot of public collaboration on that matter to get feedback, conversation to a higher and deeper level. Other part would be to not formally rename it and just have it Fourth Avenue and then have University Avenue on top of it and just go on. And it would still be Fourth, nothing would change. It would kind of be memorialized as a Fourth Avenue. We could probably put sign plates above the current Fourth Avenue everywhere. So those are kind of the options we've had. In your agenda packet, Mr. Burns prepared some businesses and individuals that would be affected. Those are in the agenda packet for your reading. Additionally, we have talked to Texas Department of Transportation, also TxDOT. Being that's a TxDOT road, they maintain the ownership of it. They have basically memorialized exactly what would have to occur to have that all done on their behalf. And so the only other one we haven't talked to definitively is the United States Post Office. We have not talked to them, but if this goes a little further, we will have those conversations a little more. So we have not had deep conversations. So, John, did I miss anything?
No, I mean, obviously, previously there was a University Drive. Second, there's maps that show Second was University Drive. As you drive into WT from 23rd, going to, by the roundabout there, that's called University Drive.
You used to be able to drive through campus.
You would drive all the way through there. And so that breaks, but it picks up again on the other side of the, between Cousins Hall and the library is also called University Drive. And that was pointed out by Dave Roush today. He pointed that out to us. I was aware of the fact that Second used to be just simply because we've seen old maps that had University Drive there. Amarillo has taken the first approach that Joe mentioned on a couple of streets that they wanted to memorialize, where they've just added that second sign on top of the street sign. And they've done that a couple different places. That way the expense was not there for those residents to change all their permanent addresses.
So is that still called University now? When it goes to campus?
Dave said that. I have not looked to see what the sign is. You know, most everything else is named after like a Vietnam vet or a veteran, the other streets. I'd have to look at the sign to tell you if it is.
Email from him too, and if we decide to do this, we would need to, that would need to be changed too.
I think it's just memorialized.
It's just on campus. I don't know that because of your address on WT is a box or just the WT address. It's not a building location.
We can double check 911 district on that, just to make sure.
Another thing he mentioned to me is that most university streets dead end into a university. In our case, it would go past it. Does that make any difference?
Not that I'm aware of, but it ends somewhere, so 217 picks up on and goes on, so that does become 217. I think it's something we'd have to have a conversation with the postmaster with. That's all I've got, Mr. Mayor, for now.
Any other thoughts there?
I mean, I'll say, I've always been for this. I think, I feel like it adds a bit of class to the community. And I feel like Canyon needs to embrace the fact that we're a college town. And I think that's one way we could do that. So I know it's gonna be a bit of a hassle, but I think it would be a good move, personally.
I look forward to seeing what kind of information you get from the public.
I do too. There's a big list of businesses that will be affected. Earlier when we were talking about it a little bit, I did reach out to a couple of businesses that I thought might have issues with it, both of them were pretty positive on it. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of comments we get back. So,
An individual would have a lot, you know, all your accounts, any kind of account you have anywhere would have to be changed, everything you have. Would it be a subscription or a bank account or whatever that might be?
Would it be possible, and I don't know if it's not, if it is or not, if like CEDC could help them in the transition? Would help?
Or us even, yes. Yeah. That is possible.
Brandon, would you like to come speak to us? And Brandon, you are student body president.
No, sir, I'm the Secretary of External Affairs for Student Government. On
Okay.
behalf of
I'm
the
sorry.
Student Body Board.
Sorry, I didn't get that right. So, well, thank you for coming to
Yes,
speak
sir.
to us.
So good afternoon, Commission, Mayor. I'm Brandon Melnikoff, as he said. I guess my address would be 2501 4th Avenue, or maybe University Avenue in the future if we decide to go that route. I'm just here on behalf of student government and to express our support of going this direction and changing to University Avenue. Today at about 4:15, we got back from a student government conference trip to College Station, and they have a University Avenue there. And as we got there this weekend, when we turned on to University Avenue, there was a sense of pride that came over you as you turned on to that, and that prestigiousness, that class, excuse me, that class that just overwhelmed you as you got onto University Avenue, both in College Station and with the campus. And that's coming from a Buffalo who's not an Aggie and who's more proud to go to WT. And so I think it would have a large impact on the already strong bond between the campus and the student body and the community. So again, we recognize that there are some hassle and some cost to business and residents here in Canyon, but overall we're in support of this direction. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Brandon. So Joe, we'll just move forward with.
I kind of get the consensus, if I'm looking at everybody, that at least you're allowing staff to go ahead and move with the public commentary period and get some feedback and let staff bring that feedback back to this body on the consideration. Right. Okay. Okay. So that will be our next step. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to mention, since Brandon's here, he's the young man that I'm working with on the speed dating that we're planning. That's April 18th on campus, and we encourage everybody to come.
Yeah, so speed dating that we're hosting, it's just an event to get the student body and the community to interact a little bit with their elected officials in a less formal, less tense interaction, if you will. Just casual conversation set up in a speed dating setting.
And we'll set up rules that there won't be any discussion about city business. It's more just to get to know you and your philosophy. So I just thought it'd be a good time to mention this with some people, and since we're working together on that.
Thank you, and appreciate you being here.
There was one more thing that I did forget to mention, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Student government is open to exploring the opportunity of a joint resolution between the city and student government if you guys do pursue to go this route.
Thank you. All right, that takes us to item number 8, to consider and take appropriate action on bids received for micro-surfacing project for 2023. Dan? Oh, Chris?
Chris. Good afternoon, Mayor.
It says Dan.
Yeah, that's right. Dan had a wife he needed to attend to this today. So. As Dan's memo says, March 15th, we opened bids for the annual street maintenance project. We received 2 bids for that. The bid sheet is attached to this. You can see the bid from Intermountain Slurry was $509,750. Viking Construction came in and bid at $558,618. Time to complete for Intermountain was 9 days, and for Viking Construction was 15 days. This is for microsurfacing, which we've done the last 2 years. We've been monitoring that, seems to be holding up well. I think our initial thought was to try to complete the entire city with microsurfacing one round. I'm not sure that budgetary constraints will allow that, but we're gonna try, see how far we can get. We should be presenting a 10-year plan in the near future to you guys that High Plains has helped us to come up with, so you can kind of see what we're looking at. Anyways, with this, it is staff's recommendation and High Plains' recommendation that we award the bid to Intermountain for $509,750. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Joe might tell me to be quiet, but I think we're gonna discuss further just the cost difference between this and chip sealing at a later date.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get this going and get these guys scheduled, and then we'll have a deeper conversation on the financing and logistics of this. So we'll preface, Chris and Dan and the engineers will bring you micro, and then they'll also bring chip seal. So they'll bring both of those to cost, inflationary amounts in all of town. So it's got a nice coordinated map. We're gonna have a deeper dive into that, but for now, we wanna get this approved and move forward.
I will add that this was budgeted. We budgeted $610,000, so that is less. I don't know, we haven't made the decision yet on whether to expand that area or not to match that budget, but that is an option, I would think.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we award the bid for the 2023 microsurfacing project to Intermountain Slurry Seal in the amount of $509,750.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. Opposed, like sign. The motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. All right, that takes us to item number 9. Consider and take appropriate action on repairs at Brown Road, Railroad Crossing, Quiet Zone, and future maintenance of Brown Road. Joe?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've got a pretty detailed agenda memo in your packet. I'll try to summarize a little bit. We are moving forward. We do know we have a few more answers on some things. We do have a signed contract with Randall County. Ultimately, what we've heard from Friesen Nichols Engineering out of Lubbock, who's the one working on this project, Chuck is nearing completion on their contract with us and the county. It appears that it's either we construct everything the way it is now, or we widen it. That's gonna be the 2 alternatives. If we widen it, you pretty much would be just worthwhile doing everything, quiet zone, the whole works. Currently, that street is around 21 to 22 feet wide, the street itself. County standards is 24, 25 feet for there, so it's undersized for their existing. The concrete on the tracks is about 24 to 25 feet. So right now, the direction from staff from our previous meeting is to go forward with widening. And so I don't believe that we're completely on that page at this point. The widening, in my mind, is a safety precaution. That road's got a lot of truck traffic. It does get traffic from Brown Road, but ultimately a lot of it's the truck traffic. And so I, as a staff member, have a hard time just investing in something, taking it to the same standard that's not even in compliance with county nor in our compliance. And I know the county has verbalized that their desire to give us Brown Road all the way from US 60 down to 6th Avenue. That is their desire. The implications of that, it can be shown in the pictures, which is in, you can click there's a link in there. The pictures were too large, y'all. So if you'll want to click photos, thank you, Gretchen. So that's kind of what the street looks like. I think that's 6th Avenue. There's 7th, all the way up. So that's the current street as it is now. That's not our standard, and it's a little undersized for county standards. Perfect, that's a little more clear. Thank you.
Want that one or keep going?
Yeah, keep going. Just keep going. Let the commission see them. Thank you, Chris and Megan, for taking these pictures for us. Appreciate you. It's in pretty rough shape overall.
Gretchen, can you go back to like the 4th or 5th picture? One that had the tape measure in it? Up there. Is that how much wider it would have to be?
I think so, Chris.
Well,
Or
that
is
was just to show that there was gonna be, utilities that would be, would come into play if we chose to run that. I think that was 6 foot from the edge of the road to that gas line. But further up, there was some communications lines as well. I didn't think to measure the road, but I don't think it's any wider than 22 feet or so, like Joe mentioned.
And so the county standard is what and what's our standard?
Theirs is 24.
I believe it was 24.
I think it's 24, ours is 37. Back of curb to back of curb. I suspect if we went from 6th Avenue up to, all the way to the railroad into US 60 is probably $1 million or $1.5 million total to bring that to our standards. Just have a hard time doing that, you know, at this point in time, inheriting the street that's not within our design parameters. We had that same conversation with Country Club Drive way back in the day. I know everybody should be aware of that conversation and where it went, which was nowhere. But that's kind of where we've been. I just want to recap on kind of what we know and where we're at. Just kind of get us on the same page to make sure, because I know the county's gonna want us to take it. So they're gonna advocate for us to take Brown Road all the way from US 60 to 6th Avenue at that point in time. And so, and I think they're struggling with widening the railroad crossing. Now, the one thing that we do not know on timing, and so all the work done right in that right of way of the railroad has to be done by BNSF subcontractor. From what we've been told from Freeze and Nichols is that contractor has a 6 to 9 month window to come here and do that work. That's kind of their delay lag time. So if we don't technically widen the road at all and make it, and we redo it in the same standard 21, 22 feet, which meets nobody's standards, we wouldn't have that much of a delay and lag in time. However, 21 to 22 feet is fairly narrow, especially with significant semi-truck traffic going over it.
And you wouldn't have room for a median. We couldn't put the
Right,
median in there.
Couldn't do any of that.
We couldn't do any of the quiet zone. Part of their reconstruction by the railroad would be the movement of those arms, and the whole signal would need to move wider.
Right. That's the time killer that nobody knows about at all. That's what the Freeze and Nichols staff has been told, 6 to 9 months on the crew from BNSF. Because they're the only ones that can get in there and do that work. We would not be able to have a contractor to do that. But my goal today is to hope and make sure we're on the same page, that our direction is to go ahead and widen the city would pay for all the striping and the center medians related to the quiet zone, including the signage. That's kind of where I left us last time, with a 50-50 split cost on the widening of the road. I think if you can look in your packet, you can kind of see, let me see if it's in here.
You want me to go back to the packet?
Hang on, let me see if I can find it real quick. There should be an illustration, yeah, PDF page 43. Gretchen, please.
Lost it.
Zoom in a little bit. So the engineer's thinking about 400 feet out on both sides. In order to meet the angles.
Talking about that's the minimum widening, Joe, is that what you're referring to?
No, I think they designed it to do the widening. So I don't think it matters widening or not. I'll have to go at least 400 feet out. We do have some preliminary cost numbers. We're looking around total project costs of about $660,000. And I believe that is the widening, correct, John? Isn't that what they told us? The 660 was,
Railroad.
yeah, and that was in there too.
Yes.
So my question to the commission is, are we still on board with moving that direction of going to widen?
So like we still have some unanswered questions from the county.
That is correct.
I think it makes sense to widen it and, you know, this is not the kind of thing we want to do every 10 years either. So, you know, there's just gonna get to be more and more traffic, on that road. That's really the thoroughfare for folks going south to Canyon and with more development out there. And, you know, with that traffic on there too, I think it helps with the safety issue, as well, just with the widening, not just with the quiet zone, but I think helps with the safety issue as well. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think we need to do it. Just, you know, where's the money coming from?
Yeah, we'll budget that.
But I think it's past due, to be honest with you. Should have been done a long time ago.
Any thoughts, PR?
A lot of money.
The county is splitting with us 50-50. That's been the deal. We would pay the median cost, and
The 600 is just the widening part.
I think the alternative, I don't think they worked the number in there for the median, Paul. I think that's what you're asking.
The cost of just leaving it the way it is.
No, we don't. Not yet.
I think Gary's right, though. If we leave it the way it is, we're gonna have to address this later on.
And honest, I see it more of a county road too. I think the traffic that goes down through there, yeah, there is some that goes to the park there too, probably heavy at times. But the wear and tear on it is really those trucks that come through there. And as there's more and more development south of town, that's the quickest thoroughfare for folks to get south of town is on that road. So.
I don't have much more to add, so I still think we need to talk to the county and see where they're at. I don't think they want to widen it. I think that's kind of where they're at. They mentioned that they'd be willing to do the widening if we took Brown Road. think that would be the wisest decision. At this point, we'll move forward with the previous direction and we'll sit down and visit with the county again to see if we can get on the same page. It may require us to come back again.
Sounds good, work. See all the costs and all.
Well, Paul, we will get the cost. We're gonna make sure there's some clarifications we need. Tim Sorrells went out and measured in actual track, and we will need to see if we just simply widen the road, if that would not trigger BNSF's involvement in the right of way. We don't know that complete answer yet, and we need to ask. From what they were told initially, any widening of the road would trigger that, any widening at all, that road would trigger BNSF right of way involvement.
Is the signal location?
Signals and concrete panels and all that, so. I will go back to the engineer and get a clarification on that, for sure.
All right, good deal. That now takes us to item number 10, our executive session pursuant to 551.071, consultation with attorney. And for those WT students in the room, we are going to retire into exec session. We could be in there for a while, and so, yeah, I hope not. But if I were you all, I think whatever you need from Gretchen and all, we'll get you taken care of and all. So anyway, glad you were here with us today.
Need a business card for my email, so if you have questions. I think it's more signed agenda.
Did we get a time?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, it is. Most of your peers that come to this meeting should stay corrected.
14 to 18 months out.